Hello, welcome to Story Time with Miss Fox. Welcome in, welcome in. Tonight we have a treat. It's a treat for me because it's an old favorite, and other people that are in my generation will remember this. Caps for Sale. Love, love, love this story. So I hope I can do it justice by reading it with you tonight. Caps for Sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own cap, a checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very, very top, a bunch of red caps. See all of those hats? He walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap! Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street, he walked down the street, calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he. He sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very, very top. Look straight, right? They were all there. So he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. Oh, when he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Do you see something missing? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. What happened to the caps? He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in the back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? Hmm. On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray cap, a brown cap, a blue cap, or a red cap. All of the monkeys have his caps on their heads. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. What do you think he said? This is going to get interesting. You monkeys, you, he said, shaking a finger at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, This made the peddler very angry. So he shook both his hands and he said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands at him and said, can monkeys talk? Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, you monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, he's getting very upset. How is he going to sell his caps if the monkeys have them? By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, you monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, at last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it to the ground and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. What do you think they did with their caps? And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, he checked his own cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. And that is tonight's story, Caps for Sale. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It was such a great story. I love it. It was a nice way for me to take a trip down memory lane. Enjoy what you do. Reading is fun. Have a good night.